Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled, Why Are 63% of Young Men Single? Let's get right into it.
63% of men in the United States are single, in comparison to 34% of their female counterparts. And it's not just relationships. Men aren't really having sex altogether. In a study conducted on males ages 18 to 24, sexual inactivity increased from 19 to 31% between the years of 2002 and 2018. But before I get into the 6 points as to why this is happening, let's take a 50,000-foot view of the situation and look at why people do or don't do certain things. Neurologically speaking, every action that humans take is either to pursue pleasure or avoid pain. So if a large group, particularly men in this situation, are abstaining from relationships, it's probably because they're chasing something that they perceive to be as better, or avoiding the stress and challenges that relationships can bring. To zoom back in, we need to explore the societal motivators that are pushing 63% of men to remain single. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 6 key factors that are contributing to this overall trend. Let's get into it. Which brings me to my first point. Let's start with something that's been quietly affecting millions of men for years: low testosterone. Now, testosterone isn't just about muscles and aggression. It's critical for sex drive, mood, and overall energy. Imagine a young man in his early 20s who, despite being physically healthy, struggles with low energy and a lack of interest in intimacy. He might not recognize that his testosterone levels are at an all-time low. And it's not just him. This is happening to millions of men across the country. Studies have shown that testosterone levels in men have been declining for decades, with a significant drop observed in men as young as 25. And low testosterone can lead to decreased libido, contributing to the overall lack of interest in sexual intimacy. Low testosterone levels can also significantly impact men's mental health, affecting mood, cognition, and overall psychological well-being. Testosterone is a hormone that plays crucial levels in lots of bodily functions. And when testosterone levels drop, it can lead to a wide array of negative impacts. Some of these things, from a psychological level, I'm going to outline here. Depression is one of the most common psychological issues when it comes to low testosterone levels in men. Study after study has shown that men with low testosterone levels tend to experience massive symptoms of depression. This includes persistent sadness, loss of interest in their activities, and feelings of hopelessness. Testosterone is thought to influence neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin, which plays a critical role in overall mood regulation. Low testosterone can also lead to increased levels of anxiety, and men with low test will experience heightened levels of stress, which can exacerbate the feelings of unease and worry. A study published in the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism found that men with low testosterone levels were more likely to be diagnosed with depression. And as far as a solution, while testosterone replacement therapy has become more and more popular. The second thing we have to look at is cognitive function and how low T impacts this. Low testosterone has been linked with overall cognitive decline, including issues with memory, attention, and overall executive function. Men with low test often experience symptoms of brain fog, which is categorized with symptoms like difficulty concentrating, poor memory, and slower processing speed. And some research suggests that lower testosterone levels also increase the risk for Alzheimer's disease. Although more research is absolutely needed for this, it's important to understand the impact from a overall well-being and psychological executive functioning position when it comes to this problem that we're seeing with men all over the country. Regarding this line, testosterone does have neuroprotective effects, and so a deficiency in testosterone, well, that makes you more susceptible to losing your mind. Another critical impact when it comes to testosterone is the impact that it has on overall motivation. Low testosterone levels are often associated with high levels of fatigue. And if men who are known to be ambitious and highly productive are struggling with low energy levels, well, not only does it tank their motivation, but it tanks their self-esteem. Men with low test might experience really high levels of fatigue even after getting plenty of sleep. And this can lead them to further isolation as they don't even feel motivated or inclined to engage in daily activities. And this over a long enough time horizon, well, it will impact things like work, relationships, and overall quality of life. Now you might be—
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Do I believe low testosterone is one of the factors why men are not, or why men are single and not having, like, hooking up with girls? Yes, but I don't think it's just men are just like, oh, we're just not motivated for women. No. It's not just that. We're not desirable to women either. A lot of men are becoming more and more undesirable to women as time goes on, and women have, in the same rate, are increasing what they want in men. So their desires for men are going up, and then actually what men actually have to offer are going down. So those are two things happening at the same time. Another thing is, if we do blame testosterone, it's not just because testosterone randomly just depleted for some reason in young men. It's because of our diet. Americans have the worst diet in the world. Might as well be the worst diet, even though we're number 42 out of life expectancy out of 200 countries. Number 42. Even though we're the number one country in the world, we're number 42 life expectancy. Why? Because the standard American diet. We're eating all this meat, all this junk food, all this dairy, and that's high in what? Estrogen. We're eating high estrogen foods. Milk. Who produces milk? A pregnant cow. So that means that pregnant cow is going to have what? A lot of estrogen in their body. We're consuming a lot of milk. We're eating a lot of a pregnant cow's flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be estrogen, high levels of estrogen in the meat that we're eating. So that's high right there. And we're also not eating enough fresh fruit and vegetables. Our ancestors ate way more fresh fruit and vegetables than we did. So what ends up happening? Yeah, our testosterone is low. You know what I'm saying? But when she said, oh, is testosterone associated with decline in cognitive function and fatigue? Yeah, because our diet's causing a decline in our cognitive abilities, and we're becoming fatigued. All by the diet. It's all by the diet. But that's just one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is women have become insatiable. They want more and more stuff from men. And as women increase how much money they earn, their status in the world, they want men that are higher status, earn more money, and there's just actually less men that have that. So we have two conflicts going on. Women are becoming better and men are becoming worse.
What does this have anything to do with relationships? Well, men with low testosterone also experience elevated levels of irritability and increased emotional instability. And this can manifest itself as increased anger, frustration, or mood swings. Yes, men have mood swings too. And this will lead to overall further isolation and complete social withdrawal. And when testosterone levels in men are low, men find themselves more prone to emotional outbursts or difficulty managing stress and overall negative emotion. And if you play this out over a long enough time horizon, well, this will absolutely impact men's self-esteem and overall confidence. When testosterone levels in men drop, they tend to experience a decrease in self-worth, and this can lead to feelings of inadequacy or further feelings of insecurity. And this will absolutely impact their ability to go out and have social interactions, and it definitely stifles their willingness to pursue new opportunities. And due to the low self-esteem and lower confidence as they continue to withdraw, it's going to further exacerbate the feelings of isolation and loneliness. And this will then negatively impact their overall mental state and well-being. And this concept around men's testosterone and self-esteem isn't just my opinion. A study in psychoneuroendocrinology, I know, what a word, found that men with lower testosterone levels self-report lower self-esteem and confidence. Research also shows that testosterone levels in men can fluctuate in response to social and sexual interactions. And this can happen in various ways. Testosterone levels in men can elevate when they are in competitive or dominant social situations, especially when interacting with women. For example, studies have shown that men's testosterone levels increase when they are competing for attention or when they perceive themselves to be winning in a social situation. Conversely, testosterone levels can decrease if a man perceives himself to be less dominant or loses in a competitive situation. And I want you to remember this point because it will be important later on. Next, we have to touch on the impact of romantic relations and men's testosterone levels. Men often experience a temporary increase in testosterone production when they are interacting with a potential partner or someone they find attractive. This is part of a natural physiological response that prepares the body for potential mating opportunities.
I feel like she came on here just to blame men for all this, right? At first I was like, all right, maybe she's concerned about male issues. She wants to help. All she did was come on here and point the finger. It's you guys' fault. You guys have low testosterone. It's not just me. It's the studies. It's the studies. But you don't know how to interpret the studies. It's not, you said it's not just your opinion. It is your opinion. The interpretation of the study is your opinion. And I'm giving you my interpretation of the study. My interpretation was we have low testosterone because of our diet. 100%. Right? As more wealthy of a nation we're becoming, as technology improves, why is our life expectancy declining? It's still on the downcline. Why are there more obese people now than ever? Right? I work at the gym. I'm a personal trainer. I'm telling you, there are more obese people now than when I was growing up. There are more fat people now than when I was growing up. Because of low testosterone, that's the reason why. No, because the diet is crap. We have a crap diet, and it's causing us to have low testosterone. But my issue is this. If we keep thinking that testosterone is the issue, at like the root cause, it's not the root cause, it's really the diet. If we keep thinking that testosterone is the root cause, we're going to keep blaming men. But if we start to say, no, it's the diet, we're going to see that our nation is failing us. That's a real issue. Our nation is failing us. It's not giving us the right food to eat. telling us how to feed ourselves, right? Because here's the funny part: a zookeeper knows how to feed a zoo animal, but our nation has no idea how to feed its citizens. And so we're telling people, eat more protein, eat more protein. I don't know if people understand this. Protein is like the biggest myth in the health industry. It's a complete lie. And it's so much to the point that I don't think people understand that right now cancer researchers are experimenting with what? Protein restriction, and they're getting better results. They found out that when they restrict protein in the diet of people, that their cancer actually starts to decline and reverse. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Low testosterone is one of the many symptoms of our diet. It really is. And the root cause is we don't know any better. See, I'm plant-based. I'm vegan. I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't believe none of the crap the government tells us. You guys, some people don't believe some of the crap. I don't believe none of the crap. I don't eat what they tell us to eat. I don't read the books they tell us to read. I don't live the way they tell us to live. I live very different than the way our government and our elected officials tell us to live. And guess what? That's why I'm more fit than them. That's why I have more cognitive function. That's why I don't have as much fatigue as they are. I train doctors. I train lawyers. I train high professionals. They all are in worse shape than me. Your cardiologist, I'm his trainer. Your dentist, I'm his trainer. Your accountant, I'm his trainer. He comes to me. He listens to me. I instruct him what to do. So I'm saying this to you to let you know that we can't trust these people. We need to do our own research. We need to be better students. Even this lady, I'm not trusting her. She's like, oh, look, the studies say that. The studies are just providing information, but how we interpret it is so important. And that's why a man needs to take information like this and break it down. So I'm happy for this lady. Her name is Kate Ann Michelle. Thank you for providing this information. But you have a lot of ego to assume that you read a study, so therefore you know the problem. No, you know the root. You don't know the root. I'm sorry. You know the symptom. It's like diabetes. When people say high blood sugar, oh, sugar's the problem. Sugar is the symptom. High blood sugar is the symptoms, not the problem. Carbohydrates not bad for you. What's carbohydrates made out of? Carbon and hydrates, water, carbohydrates. When you break down carbs in the body, you know what it breaks down to? Carbon dioxide, so we exhale that, and water. Very safe for the body. What about protein? When you break down protein in the body, what does protein break down to? What's the byproducts of protein metabolism? I'll tell you. Urea, nitrogen, acids. First of all, the body does not do well with nitrogen. We don't have a good way to get rid of nitrogen. Nitrogen is very dangerous and harmful to the body. That's one. Acid. You know, everyone knows proteins are made out of amino acid. So guess what it does? It creates metabolic acidosis in the body. Hyperacidemia, meaning that there's a lot of acid in the bloodstream. We know, you could do any research. You like research, right? The pH for the blood prefers to be slightly alkaline. So what happens when you add acid to a body that prefers a slightly alkaline bloodstream? Well, the body has to buffer that acid, right? What's the body's best buffer to acid? Our bones. Our bones are our best buffer to acid. So what does our body do? Dissolve our bones, takes that substance from the bones called sodium bicarbonate, puts it in the bloodstream, and it buffers the acid. And what happens with that blood? It gets filtered by our kidneys. And what happens? All that sodium bicarbonate, which is like calcium, recollects inside the kidneys, and then you have what's called kidney stones. I like to call them kidney bones because it's from your bones that your body's buffering your blood, and now your kidneys cleaning your blood, and now those hard little rocks that look like rocks are actually your bones. Yeah. And it's that simple, and anyone can study anything I say right now, you could try to disprove. And if you can disprove me, disprove me. I know people in the comments like to argue with me all the time. Oh, you're plant-based. We need our meat, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Eat your meat. I'm not saying don't. I don't eat meat, but if I did eat meat, it wouldn't be at the rate that people are eating. I'd be eating it at like a 3% clip, meaning that if I ate meat, I'd eat it once a day, and I wouldn't eat it 2 days in a row. That's what I would do. But, you know, I know that I have a little bit of addictive personality, so there's no way I could just have meat once. I'm going to have it over and over again. And this is why I actually had heart disease as a kid. Right, I had to check my diet because when I was 25 years old, I got heart disease, and I found out my diet was all out of whack, and I ate all the meat and the dairy that our elected officials told us to eat. We need more protein, more calcium, more milk, more cow's milk. Cow's milk does the body good. You start to see the lies that people are perpetuating, Anyway, I'm going to watch more of this video, but I wanted to let you know that the reality of all this is that you could just if you take information on its face value, you'll never be a true student. You'll never truly understand what's going on. You have to really dig deep. Our testosterone is low. Why? Men are sexless. Why? Right? A deeper reason. No, your testosterone is low. They're sexless. What's causing it? What is causing this? Okay, how come testosterone is low now and wasn't low before? How come our ancestors have more testosterone than we do now? How come our ancestors were never on TRT and now all these adults are on TRT? I see it in the gym. All these old men looking hella buff, hella strong, hella ripped because they're on test. All of them, they're looking like bodybuilders. All these old men looking like bodybuilders. How? When your body goes to sarcopenia, which is like you actually start to lose skeletal muscle as you age. But all these ripped men in their 50s and 60s. Why? Because they're on legal steroids. Anyway, I'm going to let her continue, but this is laughable, honestly. This is really laughable.
Interestingly, though, once men actually enter into a committed relationship, their testosterone levels may decrease. And this decrease is thought to promote caregiving behaviors, which are beneficial long-term in the context of that relationship. But relative to this topic, this isn't really happening. So while there is evidence that men's testosterone levels do decline once they get into a relationship, men aren't actually getting in relationships. Now, obviously, engaging in sexual activity can increase testosterone levels. The anticipation of sex, as well as the act itself, has been shown to boost testosterone levels in men acutely. And regular sexual activity has actually been shown to maintain higher levels of testosterone at a baseline for men, specifically over time. But now we have to talk about the things that actually matter within this context, which is why testosterone levels might be declining. Negative interactions for men in particular, such as rejection or social stress, lead to a decrease in overall testosterone production. Now carry that over into the stress related to conflict in a relationship. We can see how this would exacerbate the impact. Now, as a side note, a lot of men who do get into relationships do struggle with lower testosterone levels. And one of the important things that I want you to have is that men, once they become fathers, also see a decline in testosterone production. And this, again, is to facilitate nurturing behavior and kind of bring down the levels of aggression that men naturally embody with higher levels of testosterone, especially with the presence of an infant. But the important takeaway relative to the topic of why men are single, understanding that the impact that a social interaction has, specifically with a female that they find attractive or someone they might be pursuing, if that experience for them is negative, it's going to negatively impact their overall physiology, increasing stress and decreasing production of testosterone. Which brings me to my next point of why men are struggling to get into relationships, or why the majority of them are maintaining their status of being single. We have to talk about the impact of current culture in society with an abundance of fatherless homes. We've heard of women having daddy issues, but we don't necessarily talk about the impact of men growing up without a father and how that can lead to further issues. Without a strong male role model, many men struggle to develop confidence and the social skills that are required for them to navigate an intimate relationship. Think about a young boy growing up without his father around. He might be raised by a super strong, incredibly caregiving and nurturing mother, but there's still a void in his understanding of what it—
Oh my God. She just vilified men again. Again. Where's that Myron soundbite? Again! Right? I need to reach out to ABBA and preach for that. Listen, this is getting worse than I thought. This video is worse than I thought. Jesus Christ. Kate, I know you mean well, but all you did was point the finger at men. You just said a strong, caring, nurturing, very, she's just like self-grandizing woman. She's just everything, but he's still lacking a father. We're not blaming you on the fact that a woman like that could raise you into being a beta male, which that's what's really happening. Forget about it. The lack of father is twofold. Yeah, you're missing a leader, but now you also have a domineering mother who's going to raise you and to be a little bitch. We're not talking about that, right? But that's a big issue too. She's not talking about that. The feminist mother that you have is, which is the reason why you don't got a father, right? The root of why you don't have a father, because your mom didn't choose the right man. We're not looking at that, right? The father just left. He's an a-hole. That man just walked out. This is a problem that I want to address. Women take no blame for any of this. The testosterone is low. Our fault. The father's not around. Our fault. Men failed America. And in some ways they're right. But here's the other thing. The challenges that men have been going through, because you try to point out, oh, testosterone, oh, you lack of stress and rejection. Men have always went through that kind of stress and rejection, right? Albert Einstein, his question he couldn't figure out when he was alive was, what does a woman want? Men have never known what women want because it's not logical. Women are not rational. And so if you try to rationalize what women want, it's hard. Because you would think a woman wants a good man, but women don't incentivize good men. When we say nice guys finish last, it's because nobody is lining up for a nice guy. If women were lining up around the corner for nice men, more men would be nice. Because people are led by incentives. So if we incentivize men to behave like dickheads, that's what we're going to get. That's exactly what we're going to get. And that's what we've been getting. There literally is no benefit to doing the right thing because you know how she said there's a bunch of fatherless boys, right? They don't have no fathers. Because all the men that get to reproduce are the a-holes. Those are the only men that's incentivized with reproduction because those are the men that women sleep with. You don't need no dogma for women to sleep with those kind of men. Instinctively, they just sleep with those men. And instead of saying, hey, that's a problem. You know, we don't blame the women. You have the father of your boy's not around. Oh, it's not her fault. She's a strong, independent, nurturing, caregiving. She did everything. She did everything but choose the right guy. It's the guy's fault. He should have never left her. It's when we leave a woman, it's our fault. When a woman leaves us, it's our fault. If she leaves, it's our fault. If we leave, it's our fault. No matter what, it's our fault. And this is what it means to be a man. You get blamed for everything. And you know what? We're okay with it because we can handle it. Women can't handle women can't handle the truth that they're at fault and they share someone to blame. So therefore, they're not going to take it. And therefore, we don't got to give it. As men, you know what? We got to see society and it's going this way. And we got to say, you know what? All right. That we're not going to follow the trend. That's why you got to separate yourself from the herd. The herd is going this way, and you got to go counter to the herd, okay? So am I going to move like the guys who are fatherless and they're not around supporting the kids? No, I want to be in my kid's life. But I understand in order to even have kids, I got to behave like those fatherless kids, the dads of those fatherless kids. I got to behave like them in the sense of I put myself first. I got to be a narcissist in a sense, right? I really care about people, but I got to be a narcissist in a sense where the most important thing to me is my achievement, not a woman. The most costly thing to me is a relationship. That's where a lot of these fatherless boys, their father knows they need to put themselves first. So as men, we need to do that similar in a way. But we got to go against the herd and actually raise our sons. And we got to go against the herd and actually choose better women. Okay? But, you know, I'm not with the blame game. This is a big blame game thing. Man, your testosterone's low. You're not in you're in your son's life. Look at the little boy. Little boy's sad. His head's down. His mom's there. What does it mean to be a man? You know she can't answer it. You know damn well she cannot answer that. She's going to try to. She's going to tell you to be a man is to serve women. That's what she's going to tell you. Because the father didn't serve her, so she's going to raise that little boy to be a beta male and think, you need to grow up and be a good man. You need to serve a woman. You need to do this. You need to do this for a woman. Because you know what women think? And this is so funny. This lady, Kate and Michelle, shout out to her. No offense to you, girl. But again, y'all think the issue is the same, that men need to be educated. We need to educate men to be better. We don't need to educate women to be better. Women they're the most educated, got the most degrees. But somehow female happiness has declined severely, right? You know how like sexless men is like men who are actually having like intimacy in a relationship is declining? Female happiness is declining too. What about that? You guys, you said you couldn't vote. You didn't have jobs. Why are women who were supposedly oppressed happier than you guys? Seems a little bit odd, right? Wouldn't you be happy if you had more freedom, right? Now we have whole culture. You could be a 304. You guys are sexually liberated. Shouldn't you be more happier now? I just did a video on a girl who had 100. She slept with 100 men in a day. Shouldn't she be happy? She was crying afterwards, but shouldn't she be happy? No one's judging her, and she's getting paid for it. Men would have never paid for this type of behavior in women back in the day. But now, because we have little boys like this, that little boy, he's going to be subscribed to somebody's OnlyFans. Yeah. That's what it means to be a man, subscribe to somebody's OnlyFans. Anyway, this is my take on the video. It's a pretty decent video as far as giving information, but not a good video as far as concluding on what the real issue is. The real issue is we got a poor diet. We have a female-centric mindset where the woman is the prize, so we need to do everything for the express pleasure for women. And we have men who are not standing up like I am and saying, this is wrong. This is wrong. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.